Hello and welcome everyone to the Friday, August 26th edition of the Contributor Comms team meeting. A reminder, we do have a code of conduct in place, which basically says to be respectful of your fellow participants and speakers and generally be excellent to each other. And today I have thrown one item at least in our updates and big wins section, which is we have a Buffer account now and it's scheduling blogs.
It's awesome.
And it definitely
Oh,
has Kubernetes.io and last week in Kubernetes development. Does it have Kates.dev?
it does, but I don't
Okay.
think anything's come out this week on case.dev. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't think so. Which is,
Do we have it scheduled? Do we have the schedule set up to publish during the weekends? And do we want that? That's a good question. I forget. Let me
the
go
schedule
look
of
in.
the blogs?
For Buffer.
For Buffer.
Yeah, let me go look.
I don't know.
Yeah, I forget. So
I checked today morning, there was nothing there.
I mean, there's nothing there, but I mean,
Yeah.
do we want it to go out? on the
Okay,
weekend?
okay, you need to do.
Let me turn the weekends off. Anybody object?
Works for me.
Done and done. All right.
Cool. Also, Frederico had a blog, he had his SIG docs blog come out this week, which is also an exciting win. But he created our first tweet through the approval process on Buffer for that blog. And so that went well. It was nice because he scheduled it to go out and then the post about 1.26 came out. And in his post, he had mentioned that 1.26 was like coming out soon. And so I updated that to say that it was out now. So this is a much smoother process for us to be able to edit each other's tweets and
Very nice.
and do things, I think. I mean, I have admin privileges, so editing tweets makes sense for me. I don't know about other approvers editing tweets. I guess we still need to figure out if that's a possibility.
Yeah, the whole permissions structure, I'm assuming there's a lot of flexibility there, but we'll see.
Yeah. At least it's so much smoother. We can do links now. We can do scheduling now. We can do actual automation for blog posts now. So things are good.
Yeah, it's kind of nice.
Cool. Any other updates, big wins? And another reminder on Buffer, I think we'll mention it in the table as well, but if you haven't been added to the team yet, let me know what email you want to use through a direct message on Slack, and I will get you added to the team. Chris can also do that.
Feel free to ping either one of us.
Christopher, oh gosh, why can't I think of his last name? Christoph Becker, yes.
Yeah, there you go.
I was like, I wanted to say Becker, but I was like, something is wrong in here. Happy 8 a.m. But Christoph technically also has permissions to do that, though I don't expect him to. You might actually want to change that back. He helped us get the billing set up, but I don't think he expects to be on there regularly.
Yeah, I mean, let's do the least privileges things.
Indeed. Good. I have at least one new item to discuss that I haven't put in the table yet. I mentioned it in our Slack channel, which is I'm one of the election officers for the currently running steering committee election. And I also volunteered myself to be comms lead for the election. So I'm working on plans for all of the emails, and I'll be doing tweets for that as well. And if I need any help, I'll be reaching out to you all for doing those types of communications. I expect to mostly handle it myself, but if people particularly want to help, let me know that. And if I need any help, I'll let you all know too. I also created a campaign in Buffer for the election because I don't know how to use campaigns and I wanted to try it.
I saw that.
Does that make sense, or is that weird?
It makes total sense, right? Like
Okay.
you have like release blogs. You have the problem is for all the auto generated stuff, you can't assign a campaign like
That's
automatically.
lame.
Right. Like it's
That
super
seems like the
lame.
perfect thing for.
Right. Yeah. It's literally just like which buffer account do you want it to go to? Here you go. And that's
Okay.
it. That's the only option you get.
But like
So
for release tweets that are not through the.
it's good to keep track
blog
of
posts.
like the manual ones, right?
Yeah.
Like that's how I
Okay.
look at it, right? Like my actual usage of buffer, like what is the, when I do it versus automation, that's how I look at it. What's the
Yeah.
engagement? What are the metrics? That kind of thing.
So other things we might want to create campaigns about would be like,
God, like
bad today.
keep the
Would be
number of
like
campaigns
release
low.
team.
Yeah,
Okay.
like
Releases, things that come up
releases.
regularly that are
Yeah,
going to be a big deal, like election releases.
elections, releases.
Contributor summit?
Yeah, like you could say contributor summit, the event, or just events, maybe.
Ooh, yeah, I like that. Events.
Like
Because
when you
we've got
think of
KubeCon contributor summit.
right, like all that's kind of lumped together. So like having distinct campaigns, like do we really want to like A/B test those two? Are they no? So I would just say events.
That sounds good.
Yeah, like think higher level thing.
Cool. And that actually reminds me of one other thing I want to talk about today, which I might as well bring up now, which is there is a open PR from Avinash for the events role. And Josh made some useful comments on that. One of the things he asked about on that is promotion for like third-party events, like Kubernetes community days and stuff, is what I was thinking. Do we want to support those kinds of events? And if so, what might that look like? My thought is that our intended audience is the contributor community. So if it's an event that is focused on the contributor community, like a Kubernetes community day, we might be open to doing tweets about those. If they're requested, I guess. I don't think we need to seek them out. That's kind of my thoughts. Any other thoughts?
There is a process page for the KCDs that we kind of learned about this week.
Oh yeah.
I would say like make a note there that like if we are going to do this, like you can get Twitter support from the Kate's contributors account.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be the right way to go about it.
And do you
And
think
then,
we
like,
should provide that support?
Like in the case of this week's thing, no, but in general,
Yeah, I know,
yes.
right? Yeah.
So for context, there was an all-male panel announced via Twitter at a Kubernetes Community Day, which is, if you go and look at the page that we were just talking about, is explicitly prohibited. So yeah, that's like big no-no. So we kind of have to make sure we have the process in place for Kubernetes community days, right? Like KCDs in general, or at least a reference to that so that we don't do something wrong in the process of tweeting for them.
Yeah. We could help promote like the CFPs and stuff though.
Definitely. Yeah, for like the 0 days and stuff.
Which
Absolutely.
could be helpful. Yeah. Contributors. That's the word I'm looking for. Okay. So I think that's an interesting idea, putting a note on the process page saying that organizers could reach out to us for help with promotion specifically to the contributor community. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Good. And we've got to start doing KubeCon planning soon, actually. I should start thinking about that.
Yeah, no kidding.
I was wondering if I'm still actually going to need to do the spreadsheet for KubeCon, but then maybe
I would just do
somehow
it
also
all.
tie it into Buffer, because what I would normally do with the spreadsheet is list out all of the things that need doing, which I don't think we can do with Buffer.
I don't think so. Like not in that sense. Like we still need
Yeah.
the spreadsheet for a to-do list kind of thing. but
Exactly,
it
right?
could be more of a like issue checklist too.
Yeah, but we could have like the people who write the tweets go ahead and put them in buffer,
Mhm.
which will make things a little bit smoother.
Right.
But we still need the spreadsheet as a to-do list. That makes sense.
Yeah, and there is a calendar view. I was looking. They used to be able to let you like upload a CSV file, but I think they took that away a long time ago.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. Well,
We'll
that's
still
gone.
need the
Boo.
spreadsheet for to-do list, but we'll ask folks to use buffer to actually schedule the tweets.
Yes, assuming they have access.
A lot of folks come in just for that project, so I can add them
Yeah, that's true.
to the team for that.
Totally.
Yeah. Cool. So probably start doing calls for that in the next couple of weeks and start getting that to-do list spreadsheet together. Cool. Any other new items that folks have noticed? I know we've got Contributor Summit coming up and I'm the comms lead for that. So we'll have comms coming in for that, but I have shadows who will help me do those. So not a big lift for this group. Some of my shadows are in this group, so. Cool. Alrighty. If there are no other new items or updates, big wins in particular, I'll go ahead and move us into the table. At least maybe before I go into that, one thing that we usually like to do at the beginning of this meeting that I haven't done in a while is offer an opportunity for new folks to introduce themselves. So if anyone new is out there and would like to say hello and tell us a little bit about why you're here and what you're interested in, now is an opportunity. Totally optional. You don't have to. Also welcome to use chat as I switch to the top of the table. Alrighty.
The first one is me. I'm
Yeah.
still playing catch up. I thought I had submitted a PR, but now, like in the last 10 minutes, it looks like I didn't submit a PR. So,
How interesting.
yeah, I was so confident. I remember submitting one too.
Well, they
Unless
can auto close after 30 days.
Yeah, it's been a while. But even if it auto closes, there should be a history of it, I'm assuming.
Yes, it should still be there, right? Like
Well,
whatever link is still good. We just need to reopen it.
I don't know where it is. And
Yeah.
it wasn't a lot, but unless
right.
I'm doing this in my dreams, I can't find it. So I'm gonna, I mean, it's not a big level of effort, but you're catching me at a moment of the last 10 minutes going, what?
Where did my things go?
How?
That is a thing that happens, especially on GitHub.
So I theoretically submitted a PR, but that might be a big lie. And so my status might be submitting a PR.
That's a-okay.
Yeah.
And I also, I think, noticed a potential gap with this work this week. So Josh pointed me to a PR on our repo to fix a typo in the contributor comms marketing team main repo within community. And I was like, we didn't get notified for this. It has the area contributor comms tag. And then the work we were doing here is to include our info in the issue template.
Yeah.
But if they do a PR without an issue,
Oh.
then we still won't get notified about it, right?
So I know that there's an action. I'm still playing catch up. There's an action at the bottom that I haven't started, which was automatically add a comment tagging comms team when a label is applied. Maybe we
That'd be
get rid of
good.
the first one because it's not going to cover everything and just do the second one.
Well, I think there's no harm in doing the edit to the template as well,
Okay.
because that'll give us an extra like net to make sure that we catch things. But I do think the comment thing is probably more important if it can also tell us about those PRs.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what I'll do is I'll prioritize the one at the bottom. I mean, if I'm going to do it, I'll probably do it all in like an afternoon and not lose it. And then put the links in this document.
Oh gosh, I was trying to go to the bottom of the table and I forgot that this document is giant.
It's a giant document. But that should cover it. Fingers crossed.
Cool. Add a comment tagging comms team and a label is applied.
And 6549 is not it. But it would have been nice if it was. It would have been really great news if I had said, yes, this is it.
I
Okay.
should probably move that to the top of the table too. No,
I don't
go
mind
back to
doing
the
that.
top of the table.
It will be my contribution for today to add a row and delete a row.
Perfect. Thank you. Much appreciated. Sounds good. Any other questions about the trying to alert us when we actually have issues and PRs to deal with thing?
I don't know.
We have a team to alert. We just
Yeah.
need to get the actual alert set up.
Yeah. If anyone sees a PR that was supposed to go to a home, let me know. No, I'm kidding. I
If
don't
you
know
see
what happened.
something, say something.
Yeah, there you go. Otherwise, I'll just live in confusion. I'll think about it'll like eat at my soul for the next 2.5 hours, and then hopefully I forget it.
Isn't that just how GitHub works? Cool. Sounds good. And yeah, like I said, that PR was about fixing a typo, and I merged that. Josh used it as an excuse to make sure that I knew how to do squashes, because I'd never actually done a squash, even though we've talked about them so many times in here. So I actually applied the squash label and approved that PR.
There's a blog post, thanks to Chris, actually, I think about this.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which I much appreciate.
It's a whole thing. That reminded me of one other thing, though, which I then lost.
Don't lose things. That's terrible.
Sorry, I
Can't be losing stuff.
I think
now,
it's
huh?
my there's like a ghost following me. I've lost more than just this PR.
Yeah.
The contributor comms black hole.
I was thinking that there's an item in the table about it, so we'll get to that anyway at some
Hopefully.
point. Alrighty. So, cool. We'll move on from that. Eventually I'll remember whatever that was about. And next item, I think we're going to skip this for now. It is kind of on hold. Federico also isn't here, I don't think. And it's no rush, but it is about squash, so eventually we'll do some tweet about that or something. Who knows?
While we're just saying this, I want to point out that there is literally one hotel in downtown Detroit, other than the casinos, that has rooms. So if you haven't booked your hotel for KubeCon, do it today.
Book now. We should ping Noah on that, because I was talking with him yesterday and he was saying, because he
Which
switched
Noah?
jobs and he was still waiting to get the credit card, and I was like, no, just book the
Oh,
hotel.
just
You can
do it.
swap the
Yeah.
credit card.
Yeah.
Need to remind him to do that today. Cool. So we covered this last week. The buffer is there. It now has the billing set up thanks to Christoph. Need to update this issue. What issue do I need to update? Okay, that's closed. Good. Issue updated. That was the issue for getting funding
Yeah,
for the account.
exactly.
So that is done. We have a buffer. I don't think there's anything else remaining on that. And then the next two are also related to that. Auto-generating blog tweets, done.
Done.
Scheduling tweets, now enabled. We still need to figure out what we want to tell everybody else, though. I was thinking I need to put a post in the SIG ContribEx channel saying that we have automation, at least for blogs now, so that
Yes.
everybody knows
Everybody knows that your thing will go out
automatically.
no matter what.
Yep.
On a Monday through Friday at decent publishing times for around the globe communities.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to post in ContribEx about that and call out that the GitHub is still there and point to the link for that for folks who want to use that for like a one-time thing.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it in ContribEx.
Oh, did you already? Nice.
I might have. Let me double
You
check.
might have. I haven't been paying as much attention to ContribEx lately
Like
now
the
that we have our
main
own
channel.
Slack.
Yeah, exactly. I think I might have mentioned it only in our channel. Never mind. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, that makes
that's what
sense.
I did.
Okay. So I'll put something in ContribEx. That is literally on my to-do list. So we'll see if I get to that today.
Yeah, it was only on our channel. Never mind.
Okay.
You can still schedule tweets. The validate thing doesn't work. I don't know if we'll ever be able to fix that. So
However, we can, at least now anyone can
submit something and
submit
we can
something and we can move it
schedule Yeah.
to buffer.
Exactly. That's the beauty of it, right? Like we could just put in there like moved to buffer and the time it's going to go, date timestamp when it's going to go out.
Oh, we
Like-
should update. What the heck is this? That's not the right.
You're looking at front matter.
Oh, this
my
is
Lord.
the Twitter together one. I guess we can
Oh,
just
yeah.
leave that
Well, what status is it in? Draft? Oh yeah.
draft.
Last touched in July.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, all right.
Okay.
I mean, if he does that, that's great because then the one-off folks can schedule their tweets and that would be beautiful.
Mhm.
So maybe I should just leave this on here so that we keep track of that issue. What do you all think?
Yeah, I mean, we still need to tell everybody
For now.
else.
Yeah.
And yeah, we did it with Zapier for RSS feeds only. Yeah.
That's for auto-generating. I have auto-generating blogs and scheduling tweets separate.
Got it. Okay.
I did remove the one that was just about like getting a buffer account.
I would just say for this one, just say awaiting action, right? Like, and put a date. That way we know how long we've been waiting for action.
When was that? July 8th.
Yeah.
Which all things considered is pretty recent.
Yeah. That's good.
Cool. Hina, would you like to move that to the bottom of the table for me?
I absolutely happily would love to.
Thank you. I don't
Thank
want to mess
you.
up the whole table while I'm trying to lead people to it.
I get happy when I can move things, documents.
Perfect. Cool. So we'll move on from that. Thank you. Next item. Adding new roles, still in progress. Social media coordinator role, to my great surprise, I found out this week, has actually been in for 25 days. I thought I hadn't actually approved that PR, but actually it was approved and in. So I was going to approve that this week, but it's already there.
Nice.
It's
And that
nice,
was
yeah.
where they were fixing the issue, I think, the typo. I think it was in that page. So that's in. I think for now, I've been kind of acting as the social media coordinator and I will continue to do so. But if folks are interested in the social media coordinator role, take a look at the role handbook that exists and let me know if you want to go through the shadowing bits on that. I have them kind of laid out in the role handbook. And as we go along, we can always update these and modify them. So they are not static. So yeah, social media coordinator is in. I guess I'll just say that.
Nice. Yeah.
Done.
Look at us
think
knocking
it's-
stuff off the list today.
I think it's nice to track them all here though, so that we know which roles we
Mhm.
actually have. Technically, we also have a storyteller role that's still there. And then there's some other role that's in that handbook. Should probably
Yeah.
list those. I'll find those eventually or something. The events coordinator role, PR exists. Like I said, Josh had some useful comments there. I responded to them. The one thing that I wanted to bring up in this meeting was the external events thing. He added another comment that I hadn't seen, which is, if this person is going to be the contact point for all things events, I'd really like to see an aggressive and documented rotation schedule for the role. That's the sort of role where you have to change out more than once a year, so that people don't get overwhelmed by doing all of the events. That's a pretty good point too. I guess I'll chat with Avinash about that. And then anyone else have any comments on that? Agree with that? I did mention, he asked if this was going to overtake, oops. He asked if this was going to overtake the comms lead role in things like the Kubernetes Contributor Summit. And I said, no, this is a contact point for our group for that person to talk to, is how I see this role. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
But it still is a considerable amount of work. We're still kind of figuring out how much work it is. So we might not have to incorporate this rotation piece in right now, but we might want to think about it for the future. And if more than one person is interested in helping with events, then of course we can do that kind of thing. Those are my thoughts. Any others?
+1 to what you said.
Nice. And he suggested that we should add some more detail on how to shadow the role, which I agreed with and gave Avinash some resources to look at. And by some resources, I mean the social media lead role thing that I made. And I'll work with Avinash to figure out how to lay out the shadow requirements and how that process works. Granted, we have never really done shadows before, but we're making it up as we go. Cool.
I love it when I can delete a message. Thank you.
Cool. So we'll move on from that. And like we said on the external events piece of that, you might want to work with Kubernetes community days. Keep in mind that our audience is the contributor community. So maybe proactively let events know that specifically pertain to the contributor community. And otherwise, if we get requests, we could handle that. That sounds reasonable. So I'll leave that there. Hina, if you're interested in designing a project manager role, we should discuss that more.
Yeah, English is not my strong suite today, but I'm back. And I think maybe this week I'll be able to, I'll ping you with my thoughts. I'm still trying to figure out how I can add value other than moving things and writing things down in a table. So it's still going to be maybe, I think this one might be very generic and then evolve into something more concrete, but at least I'll start drafting it when the words in my mind don't, the words in my mind are English.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
And I can help you with that. And that's kind of the process we're going through with all of these. We brainstorm the role concept, we start figuring out what we think that role might be, and then we start laying that out in words. So
yes, for now, it just might be something as simple as helps coordinate action items.
yeah. We can add more detail to that.
Yeah.
Because a couple of there's one other role in here that is still in a very like draft state, which is the blogging lead. And the concept there was to have someone make sure that blog tasks are actually getting done. And the PM role, if they're managing the table, would also have a role in that.
Mm-hmm.
So there could be a workflow that we could build here out of these roles.
Yeah. And then a tangent is making sure things can get done. That's actually something that like I could actually help with, even if it's under another role. Like forget about the defining, but if the role under it needs help, let me know, because I can do that.
Yeah. And one of these roles at least needs to be the primary owner of running the meeting. And I haven't decided what role that should be or what that should look like yet. It might be this project, an element of the project manager role. It might be this approver leader, very rough concept that we've been discussing. Because we need someone who has like ultimate power over our repos and helps to run the meeting and stuff. So that's kind of what I was thinking about for the leader role. Then we've got the contributor site role, and tech lead role would be potentially a combination of roles, at least the contributor site role, maybe the approver leader role as well. So there's still some pretty rough concepts in here. If anyone has thoughts on any of them, thoughts are welcome. I know, Imran, you had been making some progress on.
At least I just want to give some update on it. So, I mean, this week I'll start writing something on this. I think on this contributor side or on the tech lead role. I want to just ask: this shadow is necessary for every role, or is just up to us?
I think we should set up shadow expectations for every role. It's not that you have to have a shadow at all times. It's that you have to have a process for someone to come in and shadow you.
Okay.
Because you're not going to be in that role forever. At some point, your life is going to change in some way and you won't be able to do that role anymore, or you'll want to do something else. So you want to make sure that someone else can come in and do that after you.
Okay. Okay, cool. So I'll start at least. I want to work on it, so I'll at least start some basic draft this week, starting next week, then I'll think this. Then maybe we can do something.
Sounds good. And you can look to the social media role that's in the repo.
Yeah, I started looking at I
as well as
the
PR Avinash has. Yeah.
These are the model templates.
Sounds good. Cool. And I suggested last time that Federico maybe take ownership of figuring out what the blog lead role should be, because he's been doing a great job of writing blogs and writing that new page that's going to be going into our repo about how to write blogs. I think it's probably already in, actually. I need to find that PR, which I don't have a link to here. I think I have it later in the table. But he wrote a page about how you decide what goes to k8s.dev versus what goes to kubernetes.io and some other blogging guidelines, which Tim Bannister reviewed. And so like, it's a nice set of guidelines, regardless of what we're doing. So I was like, Federico, that sounds like you're a blogging lead. So I'll work with him on that further. And that's going to be it for roles, unless anybody else wants to talk about them any further. Cool. We're making progress on them. I'm very excited about that. Contributor comms name change. We did get some of these finally in this week. There was one PR that needed a rebase, and that rebase got completed this week. And then I pinged Josh about making sure that all of the ones that he could merge were merged. And then he was like, some of the others are not ones that I'm the owner of. You're the owner of them, and you need to do them. And then I promptly didn't do that, as you can see here. So I will do those. This was just like yesterday. So.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I thought this was like on your back burner or something for a while.
No, this was like yesterday or Wednesday.
Okay. That's cool though.
This does have a failed job though.
Uh-oh. Verified generated
docs.
docs. What?
Both of us
That's
go,
new.
what? I don't know what that means. Oops.
Huh. Okay. That's weird.
Well, need to spend some time looking at those.
What did it? This might be one of those things where it's like, we need to skip this test kind of thing too. So
Might be. I guess this was the one that needed rebase. And so it has been rebased, but it still has.
issues.
Oh, maybe it might just, the issue might just be that it has a hold on it.
Oh, there
No,
you go.
it wouldn't.
Let it go.
It wouldn't fail the checks if it was a hold, right? It would just say hold. I don't think it would fail the checks, so I think there's still an issue here. So we'll have to figure that out.
Hold on.
The first one I click on is problematic. Are the other ones problematic? Let's find out. This one looks okay. No, it doesn't. It has a fail as well. What is that about?
Is it the same failure message? That's the question.
Details.
Yes,
Yes.
it is.
Yeah.
All right, let me go look at that. Or actually, Ray, are you still here? No, he's not. Damn it.
No, he had to go.
What PR is this?
That
Or
was
the issue 641 or 6641. So I'll find it.
6715 and 6714 were the ones that I was looking at. But yeah, if you just go to this 6641, you'll see them. And I want to check the other two now to see if they also have failures.
Because this is weird.
Do not merge hold. No, this one does not have a failure.
Merge it. Or can we? I don't
This
think we
one, you
can.
should be able to merge it, I think. Needs approved in LGTM labels. I haven't actually looked at it, so I don't want to do that right this second. At least I haven't looked at it recently. Well, then again, now I'm looking at it and it looks perfectly fine. So
Okay, let's see. Something happened here that shouldn't have happened. Do not manually edit sig-list.md or readme.md files inside the sig folders. Instead, make your changes to sigs.yaml, then run make, and then commit your changes to sigs.yaml and any generated docs. So there's a process there that needs to be run and committed.
oh boy. Okay, can you send over the documentation that tells us about that so I can put it in the notes?
That's a very good question.
Looks like the
yeah,
other
like
issue is
editing
fine too.
editing sigs.yaml is not like a trivial thing.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Goody.
Yeah. I don't even know where the damn file lives, to be honest with you. Community. There we go. Oh man. Doesn't really have docs with it though.
Something had to go wrong.
Yeah. Well, if you go back and look at the actual pull request, we can see what went wrong.
Yeah.
Find it again.
Why have I been signed out?
Your other computer rebooted, maybe?
I just had to click sign in and now it's fine.
Hmm.
Whatever. But now my view is messed up. And I don't have edit access. Oh, I'm not actually signed in. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing for a second and fix this.
Do you want me to share my screen?
No, I got it.
Okay.
Just take me a second to log in.
Changed files. Wow.
There we go. Right? Yes.
Weird.
Made me suspicious there for a second. Suspicious. All right. Anyway, let's continue. Okay, so that's in progress. We'll figure that out over the next however many weeks it takes to get that sorted. Like I said, if you can add the link to those instructions, let me know. We'll just go ahead and add them into the notes or ping them or whatever. We'll get them put somewhere useful. I'm going to move on to the next item. SIG spotlights, like we said, well, SIG Docs has been out, for a little bit. Chris wrote a tweet on that like a couple of weeks ago. SIG storage was scheduled for the 22nd and it went out this week and it has been tweeted about. So it is done.
It literally went out right before I said it was scheduled. So I'm very sorry.
Yeah, it
that
was
wasn't
very
picked up
sad.
automatically.
But it gave us an excuse to try out the approval process. So that was
Mhm.
nice. And also the auto-generated ones, of course, are not as detailed as we can do ourselves.
Nope. That
So
is the one drawback.
yeah.
Like, we could put description in there, but it would get cut off at 280 characters and it could be good or bad.
And at least for admins, we can actually go in and edit the auto-generated tweets. So we can add more detail to them if we want to. I don't know if approvers are able to go in and
I
do
think so.
edits that can be approved. I hope so.
I would think
But we
so.
haven't tried that. But if anyone wants to try that sometime, go for it. So that's done. I doubt there's been any update on architecture or security, though now that the release is out, we might be able to get those moving. The next item is the
there is
blogging.
update.
Oh, yeah.
There's been some update on the SIG security block. So that's like PJ. So because that's one of the cross issue they have been pulled. So it's supposed to be published on the 9th of September, I guess, next month. And maybe I can send the PR. So you can also, it's regarding the author press CVE for the Kubernetes. You can send the PR. I saw that one because that's, so this block was looking good. So it's in the contributor site. There is a PR which actually is used to
I think that's going to be a separate thing, but do you find that PR, if it's just a one-off about a specific feature or something, that's different from a SIG security spotlight blog post?
Okay, maybe it's actually it's not a spotlight. Okay, I don't see the spotlight. So okay.
Right. So spotlight is just like, here's what the SIG is and why it's wonderful.
It's something else. Okay, yeah. It's something about some feature, this specific feature.
Well, if you can find that PR, that would be interesting to know about.
Yeah.
So, not to add to the list. Never mind. Let me stew on that for a second before I mention it.
Okay. The list is there to track things, so if there's something else to track and do at some point, feel free.
Yeah, I want to see if something's possible.
The list is long, but it's nice. It's a lot of good stuff that we're doing. I'm very, very happy about all of it. Ah, perfect. You've got the link. What have we got here?
Ooh. I like this.
Supporting blog to the announcement of the CVE feed covers implementation details, design considerations, links to original blog. So yeah, this isn't like a general blog spotlight. It's about specifically the CVE feed.
Sorry, I was confused with the spotlight and this one.
Where is the CVE feed?
I think it's they have some.
Like, oh, is that it right there where it says here under prerequisites? Line 33. Is that it?
That looks like an issue about the CVE feed.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind.
Well, there's another
does
blog
a
you can
CVE
go to.
feed exist? Oh, no. It's up the top there. Availability of the CVE feed.
Yeah, but that goes to a blog.
What?
Yeah.
Kubernetes.io blog.
But that's not out, I guess. So, I mean, I didn't understand this one. Actually. This is pointed to a blog. This is feature dated. It's
This is
still not
about
live.
implementing it. There's another blog about it.
Okay.
This is
I see.
about creating it.
Okay.
Building on
Yeah.
existing tooling, design considerations, integrity and access control protections, GitHub issues, PROW configuration.
Yeah, I need to subscribe to this one.
Does sound very interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, that's interesting.
Cool.
Oh, it's a JSON file. Nice.
So is this something that we could or should subscribe through Zapier and do tweets about?
The should is kind of my question. Do we really want to bring
Here's a new CVE in Kubernetes to
right like
everyone.
that? I think I would ask folks like Ian or somebody on SIG Security, like, or whoever built this feed, like whoever's on that PR.
Oh, also this link doesn't work.
That's fun.
404 page not found. So maybe that blog post
Yeah.
isn't out yet either.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I found the page, but I didn't find the blog post.
Yeah, I'm guessing that isn't out yet either, and they're trying to get these two
Yeah,
ready
so
to go
probably
at the same time.
yeah, exactly. So actually this requires my fix, which is if they approve it, it will go online and yeah, it will go before the time. So I have a fix regarding this to publish that post on future date. So that's
Gotcha.
where my issue was.
Cool. Yeah, unrelated to the spotlight, but good to know about. Cool.
Now I'm going to create an alias on my command line because Kate CVE is handy.
And then, oh, my review is requested here. I should do that. Well, I guess, did I look at this earlier? I did, but I don't think I said anything about it. But anyway, like I was saying earlier, Federico also created a new file in our repo in marketing team, which will someday be contributor comms, storytelling resources, blog guidelines. He updated the blog guidelines with a whole bunch of really nice stuff that he learned since he was writing blog posts. Cool. And they're still working through some stuff on that. So I don't think there's anything in particular to discuss there, just something that needs review. Oh, he said that he was making changes in the HackMD, not in the GitHub also. So process. So I'll go ahead beyond that one. We are getting pretty close to time. Kata Coda, Killer Coda, nothing in particular for us to do there, just something that we tend to like to keep up with, and none of the folks we usually check in with about it are here. Is there something you want to talk about with it?
There was a briefing, I guess, given about how it's going to work in the
Okay.
ContribEx meeting, I think, or no, one meeting I went to this week. I forget which one. But yeah, like everybody's on board with it moving over to
Killer Coda.
No, the
Code spaces, huh?
code
Code
spaces. There
space.
you go. Yeah,
Code spaces.
GitHub code spaces. So, and we have somebody from GitHub helping with that. So
Right.
I think this issue, unless it links out to a different issue and then closes itself, like whoever's doing the work, I forget his name. Was it Craig Peters?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, yeah, like we should find. Huh. Okay. 9 days ago. Wow. Okay. So he's active on it. Yeah, I think just changing the art table is fine.
Okay. I'm working on it. I'm guessing this was Deba, so it could have been Avinash as well.
Oh, what do you mean?
Okay. I'm going to remove some of that and leave the rest. Someone is. I guess Craig is working on it, really. Craig.
He's the GitHub employee, and I think he's working with not Avanesh,
Deva,
maybe
Deva.
Deva. Yeah.
I
Probably.
think he was the one who was covering it.
Yeah. Okay. So that makes sense.
Yeah. Cool. We've got 5 minutes left, so I'm going to keep going through these. As of our last meeting, there were 6 tweets left that we should do about the annual report stuff. Federico had been killing it with going through those. But there are still a few more of those left. I haven't seen any more come through, so sounds like there's still a little bit more work we could do on that. But we've made good progress. Rajula validate command is broken. Rajula was actually on our last meeting about knowledge sharing. And I didn't update this item, so that's interesting. I don't remember what to update it with right now, so I'll skip that. APAC Meet Our Contributors blog.
It's
On
also
hold
out,
because of
right?
haste. I think this
Oh.
did go out.
Yeah, it's actually it's still live.
Merged.
Yeah.
Cool. It's kind of a rolling thing though, because I mean that is an ongoing series, but I will go ahead and remove this. Cool. Imran, updates on the scheduling issue with the contributor site.
Yeah, so I provided the PR today, so this is the one bugging thing with scheduling the post. So I hope that today or probably by this week, Tim or somebody else will review and hope it works out.
Cool. Sounds like it's been a good learning experience.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I set up Hugo locally in my machine and it's working, so I can always yeah, check.
Getting that set up is can be difficult.
Yeah.
Okay. And then there was another blog. It's not really by Deba, that Deba is related to on Linux Foundation mentorship. Let me know when reviewers are done with suggestions in the Google Doc and I'll submit those. I think we've mentioned this a couple of times that it's kind of reviewed. It's just kind of waiting for things. But if anyone wanted to put that on their list to review another blog, it's there. Still open. Yeah, I said twice already that someone has reviewed the blog from our group. So there's no active stuff needed. But anyway, 2 minutes. Keep track of SIGDoc's blog subproject process changes. Avanesh and Ray are not here at the moment. Granted, we do have those updates to our own repo about the blogging process, so that'll be nice. And it's also related because Tim Bannister was involved in the reviews for that. So it has some relationship to how SIGDocs is changing their own blog processes. Squashing commits. This was something that Rashid wanted to work on, but I think he's here today. Security comms guidelines. Yeah, this is a concept that I'd like to get done eventually, but is not a high priority or not urgent. Avinash said that he was interested in working on it. If anybody else wants to work on it as well, you are welcome. I can explain to you what the concept was. Basically, we want to work with SIG Security to write out some specific blogging and communications guidelines for security items because they're such sensitive communications. So we'd like to work with SIG Security to do some guidelines on that. It's just the concept. Avinash said that he was making progress and that we should expect PRs pretty soon. So check in with Avinash if you want to know more about that. Scheduling tweets for non-contrib comms members. Yes.
This is the one.
Thank you for putting that at the bottom.
My pleasure. And right on time.
And right on time. There we go. So thank you everyone for attending today. Any other last questions before I stop the recording?
How will you be awesome today? You already have. Good job.
Thank you.
all of you
That
here.
applies to everyone.
Yep.
Love it. Cool. So I'll go ahead and stop our recording. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.